Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Outta Savannah, talking with Tammy. My guest, Jasmine Cianflone, is here, and I am so excited and happy that she has decided to join us here on the show. So, Jasmine, please tell the people who you are and what it is that you do.
Hi, everybody. I'm super happy to be here as well. I've been following Tammy for a while now, and she does amazing work, and I love the conversation she has with all of her guests. As she mentioned, my name is Jasmine Cianflone, and I am also known as that tarot goddess. I am an expert tarologist, a master Reiki healer, an energy healer, spiritual guide. I also do radical guide DNA activation. Basically, anything spiritual, woo woo, magical, I am your go to expert. My goal ultimately with my work is to teach ambitious women how to go after their goals using the tarot and also their spiritualities as a guide. There's a lot of information that is available within the framework of the tarot, and also just spiritual practices in general that helps you to really figure out what you actually want out of your life and to go after it unashamedly, like just
Mm.
live out loud and really say this is the life that I was meant to be here to create for myself, and actually like put things in place to make that happen for yourself. So that is what I do. I tend to work with people in groups. I work with people one-on-one. I do a lot of readings, of course, since tarot was my main framework. But yeah, that is basically what I spend my time doing, and I love every minute of it.
That is, and you're right. You are so amazing at it. I
Thank you.
actually met Jasmine one day on a Facebook Live. She was reading tarot. and, and I do not know tarot, but I love when people read it. And she was so insightful, and she just, I don't know, it just captured my attention because to be honest with you, I was like, oh God, here we go with this tarot. But she explained the cards and explained the reading that you got, and the reading that she gave me, she don't even remember probably, but the reading she gave me was right, so on point. It
Mm,
was so, it was just spot on, and I was like, oh man. And so after that, I had to rush every time she got online. I tried to make sure I was in her place so I could get a reading from her, because she was just so powerful at it, and she had such a command of the tarot language, and that is a delight to see, and it's very rare. And so I
thank
absolutely
you.
just love her. So
Thank
how did you
you.
get involved with tarot? I mean, was it something that you did as a child, or how did you actually begin to realize that you were that tarot goddess?
So we'll go all the way back to the beginning. This has been basically a lifelong journey. Um, when I was growing up, I didn't have a specific religion or a religious background. Um, I have no idea why, really, but my mom has been, or she had been, she's passed away now, but she was Catholic for a while. She was Baptist for a while. Most of my family is from like South Carolina, so there's a lot of Southern Baptists in my family. Um,
Yes.
yes, but my family, my little, me, my mom, my dad, my sisters, we didn't have a particular religious thing. So when they were raising me, like my mom did not, we didn't go to church. We were Baptist for like, I don't know, 3 weeks when I was 8, which was interesting. Because I've always been very interested in spirituality, just the idea of there being something more
Mhm.
um, to this life that we can't see. So for me, it was born out of a search for what my spiritual path was going to be. Um, I started meditating with crystals when I was 11 years old. So that was like my thing. It was like one of those things that just it drew me in. I went to a new age store in the mall across the street from my house, and I was like, this is like, I'm from Jersey. So anybody who knows like New Jersey, there's malls everywhere. So I literally grew up across the street from Woodbridge Mall. And there's this great little store in there. And I bought my first crystal set, my first book on meditation, and my first tarot deck. And I didn't do anything with the tarot for a while. It sat for a really long time. But when I was 16, I started picking it up and looking through it and being like, okay, I really like this. I really love um, the artwork, the messages. And, I did a lot of dabbling in a lot of different kinds of spirituality as a teenager. I was Wiccan for a while. Is there anything else that I named myself as? No, I was Wiccan for a while, like pretty much into college. And then I met my husband, who was raised Roman Catholic, and was having his own little, I don't know how I feel about all this Catholicism stuff, which is still a thing to this day. But I just have always been a seeker. So for me, the research, the learning, the history, the symbolism, the correspondences, to me, those like really speak to me. And I noticed that within the tarot, there are so many connections to other different kinds of spirituality. And that's one of the things that really like lit up kind of a spark in me. I took a bunch of time off from reading tarot, like a bunch of time off. And my cats are making noise. And I didn't read for most of my adult life. Like I would go back every once in a while. And like if I was having something really big happen, I would just pick up my deck and sit with it. I'll show you guys. This is actually my first tarot deck. It's the Spiral Tarot. I've had this like my entire life and I love it. And it's my go-to personal deck. But what happened was, it's crazy. I was a wedding planner for 10 years. Okay. I ran my own business. I loved every minute of it. It started to be an issue for me energetically. Like my actual spiritual energy levels were being drained by this work. And I had to sit down and have a conversation. Stop it. So sorry. I had to sit down and have a conversation with God, like, and seriously be like, okay, what would it be like if I stopped planning weddings, if I didn't do events anymore? And literally my entire body relaxed. I felt more relaxed in that moment than I'd felt in years. And I was like, okay, that's my signal. That's my sign. I have to let this part of me, what I've been working for like a decade, I have to let it go. And so I said, okay, so what is next for me? And I actually have a post on my blog of when the actual moment when I was like, you're going to be a spiritual leader, like came to me. I was in Costa Rica on a retreat, a business retreat. My first time traveling internationally by myself. It was a big, big deal for me. We were down there for a week and we had our first introductory dinner and I'm sitting with these amazing women and we're going around talking about what we're trying to be working on during this retreat. And for some reason, I said, I'm going to create a spiritual movement. Now, that was not what I went on this retreat for. Like, that was not the plan at all. And I was like, okay, I said that out loud in front of all these people. I guess I have to stick to it. It was insane. It was insane. And then I woke up the next day. Actually, I did not sleep that night. I woke up the next day and was like, okay, I can't do this. I have no idea why I said that. There's no way. And literally I heard God say, you've already chosen it. It's done. And I'm like, okay, then. So I had this huge resistance storm. I was like sick all day. It was terrible. But once I accepted it, once I was like, this is what you've chosen, this is what you're doing, I went and did a Facebook Live and said, hey, everybody, I'm closing my wedding planning business. Like that's next day. And started that process. And the evolution from what I thought I wanted to do before I started paying attention to what my business was calling me to do, has been very interesting. That was in 2018. So we're here 3 years later. And I started out being like, okay, I'm just gonna be like a spiritual coach. Wasn't specific enough. And then I was like, I know how to do tarot readings. I should probably just go online and do tarot readings. And so I started giving them out for free on Facebook. And I'm like, I'm just going to do these readings. And I started offering them to people. And everybody was like, Jasmine, you're really good at this. And I'm like, okay, if you insist, I'll just keep doing this. And it was a gradual expansion into believing that I had the skills and the intuition to actually do what I was sent here to do. Okay. What I thought I was sent here to do when I was being a wedding planner was to connect people to who they really were and help them express that through their wedding. Okay. So the nugget was there. It was definitely there. But I wasn't going about it the right way. And the wedding industry is absolutely the wrong industry to be in if you were like really spiritually minded, because unfortunately it's very vapid. It's surface. And it's part of the fashion industry. It's going to be, that's normal. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it was not the right place for me. So
It was a
as
little
I,
too light in love.
mhm, yeah, yeah,
I mean, what is it? Love and light?
yes, it's way too love and light. But the thing is, it's like some of those people are super negative, and they started like wearing on me, and I was like, I can, as an empath, I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's been an incredible journey, and I really just dove in, like all the way in, and just started like collecting decks. I have like 15 or 16, it might be more than that because I just bought some more for my birthday decks. I have oracle decks. I have decks like based on different mythologies and all sorts, like I love them because they all have their own language, they all have their own symbolism, they all have their own
Yes.
feeling, their own energy, right?
Yes.
And so it's,
And it all
I
speak to you
just,
differently.
yeah, yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
do speak to me differently. And I actually intuit which deck I'm going to use when I'm working with clients. Um,
Yes.
because different decks will give the same message in a different way. And some
Mm-hmm.
people need a gentle hand, some people need a kick in the face. So that's how I like to work with it. But it's been an incredible journey, and I am living my happiest mystic life right now. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, I sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I can't even believe that I managed to make this happen for myself.
Mm-hmm.
um, and that's part of the reason why I teach what I teach, because I believe that if the world had more people who knew what they really wanted and actually went after it, we would have world peace, because people would be busy creating the lives that they love instead of being mad at each other because they see something that they think they want and somebody else has it.
Right. Or feeling like they're stuck in a
Yep.
job that is sucking the life out of them.
Yes.
Because there's so many people like that in the world.
Yes.
You work with them and you're like, and I almost think about this. I don't know if you remember Bad Boys,
Hmm.
the lieutenant, when he said, "You don't like your job? Quit."
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. It's like, don't be around here being miserable and evil and hateful and
Exactly.
all this shit because you don't like your job. Shit, fucking quit. Find something else to do.
Exactly.
And that's,
Exactly.
yeah, that's perfect. So
Yeah.
when you begin to really step into all of this beauty and all of this destiny, how did it feel for you?
Oh my God. The beginning was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think honestly, that's a part of why a lot of people don't go after their dreams, is
Mm-hmm.
because when you do that, when you look at what it's actually going to take, it's not the level of work, it's not the effort, it's not the money. It is the fact that you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I willing to become the person that it takes to get the stuff that I want? And
Mm.
that is, for a lot of people, it's a no, because it means you have to change how you are, how you be, how you present yourself in the world. And a lot of people are not ready, or they don't have the support to say, I'm going to separate myself and move into this new space. um I was very lucky in that I was supported. A great support system in my friends and my husband. I've got my woo sisters around me. We are gathering up all of the woo people and like loving on them together, and that's really awesome. So
Yes.
I've had a lot of support, but in the very beginning, it was absolutely terrifying, because the crazy thing that I have discovered about living authentically is that you cannot do it by halves. Like, there is no way to live authentically only part of the time. It's either you're in or you're out. Like, you have to go all in. And so
Yes.
I'm in the process of really going all in with like everything and every aspect of my life. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It really
No,
is
it's
not.
not.
No, no, it is not. And I'm like, okay, so what does it look like for me to be fully authentic? What does it look like for me to experience this life with everything that I truly desire? And it really takes like that self reflection, that moment to say, is this something that I want because I want it, or is this something I want because society said that I should want it? And I had to
Right.
deconstruct what success looked like and then build
Mhm.
it back to what what really feels right for me. Um, and that's been a challenge, but it's 100% worth it. It's so worth it. I feel free, alive,
Mhm.
refreshed, um,
I think
sparkly most
I,
days.
I think it's like when you first take off your clothes after you had a baby.
Mm,
You know, if you got stretch marks, I don't know about you, but my second child decided I needed stretch marks on my stomach and stretch marks on my boobs and, just freaking everywhere. The first one, I didn't get any of that. The second one
yeah.
decided he wanted to leave his mark, and that's okay. But, once you take off your clothes after that, the first time and you look at yourself and you're like, okay, here I am, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to accept me as I am
Exactly.
with all my damn stretch marks or whatever. Or if you put on a two-piece bathing suit
Mm-hmm.
and you say, oh, I got this belly, I got these thighs. Or you can say, you know what? You're beautiful, girl.
Yeah.
You look good. So it kind of, to me, is kind of like that.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, okay, here I am now. I'm that tarot goddess. Did you say that tarot
Absolutely.
goddess?
That tarot goddess. Yep.
Yes. You say, I'm that tarot goddess. Look at me, world. Here I am. This is what I do.
Yes.
And you're damn good at it. That's the thing.
Well, thank you.
No,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Yeah, and it has been like a really crazy journey because with this self-acceptance thing, like just with through itself, self-acceptance through my career has led me to self-acceptance in so many other places. So many other places. Like I'm more comfortable in my sexuality now. I am more comfortable expressing myself and I've always had a big personality, but I've always downplayed it. And then now I feel as if I am allowed to take up as much space as I want to. Um, in fact, I demand to take up as much space as I want to. Like it's not an option for me. People cannot put me in a box. Like I don't fit there anymore. So it's just so liberating. It's just a beautiful, beautiful liberation.
Love it. Love it. I can tell, I can see the difference from when I first met you to
Mm,
now. I mean, it's so transformational, and I love it. Because I felt like I literally watched you transform
mm,
from this person that, in a way you were hiding,
yep.
and now you're like, here I am, world. When it's like, yes, yes, that is how it's supposed to be. It's almost like you was on the Calgon commercial and all of a sudden you said, yes, yes, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is how it feels. That is how it feels. And it's really I didn't know life could be this good. That's the way that it feels. Like I know what I wanted, but I had no idea it could be this good. And I'm grateful because I did that. And I'm not even going to be shy about it. Like I did the work, I did the shadow work, I did the energy work, I did like all of the hygiene, like I did all of the stuff that needed to be done to get me to
Yes.
where I am. And there's nowhere else to go but up from here. And I'm loving every minute of it.
Awesome. So talk about, what you're creating.
Oh my gosh, what am I not creating is probably
Right.
a better question. There is so much stuff. Like my notebook is full. I am very in touch with the energies of my business.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they require from me a lot because I'm building an empire. Okay. That tarot goddess is not just about tarot, it is about spiritual lifestyle.
Yes.
It is becoming a spiritual lifestyle brand. Okay. So, right now, what I'm working on is a community where people can come together and talk about their goals and how to use their spiritualities to get there. And of course, the goals don't have to be like monetary or like physical goals. Like they can literally just be, I want to feel at peace. And we can talk about how to get you there using your spirituality. And I'm just going to put it out there. I am writing a book. Title is to be determined. because I got 4 titles and I'm not sure if they're different titles or different books, but they're there. So I'm writing a book. I am hoping that I will have it in manuscript form by next June. I'm giving myself a whole bunch of time because 3 kids is a lot of kids. And, you know, it is like lots of stuff going on in my life. But that is definitely one of the things that I'm doing. I have a Sacred Container VIP program where I am walking women through all of the beauty that is the mystery of themselves to teach them how to own their energy in all ways. And of course, we use the tarot as our main tool to communicate with our higher selves, with our subconscious, with God, basically, and the universe. And of course, I'm always doing readings. I've got readings. I always have readings. My main reading is the Tarot Alchemy Soul Session. The Tarot Alchemy method is the method that I use to do spiritual healing. It is not completely defined yet because it is still being birthed, but it includes readings, it includes energy healings and clearings, DNA activation, Kundalini Reiki, all of that wonderful, yummy, delicious energy work that helps you to see yourself as you really are, move to accept yourself, and then take the action that you need to take to get yourself to the other side of the bullshit you don't feel like dealing with anymore. Because that's all it really takes is the recognition and somebody to help guide you through that. Because a lot of times what happens is we get to the recognition part and we're like, nope, and we turn around and run in the other direction.
Yeah,
so
we see it and we're like, fuck this, no.
Yep. Is exactly where people get stuck. That's exactly where people get stuck. And the funny thing is like when I was starting to kind of come up with this concept, I was going through the tarot and I was like, that's death energy. That's the death card energy. That's tower energy. So there's this section, there's these 2 little parts. There's the transformation section of the tarot, which is the Hanged Man, death, and temperance. And that's like when you are literally being changed into something else. And then there's the reckoning, when you're being forced to look at all the stuff that you used to deal with and whether or not you're going to deal with it again. And that's the tower and the devil. And those 5 cards are where everybody gets stuck when they're creating stuff. That's it. That's that energy where it's like, you get there and you're like, I did something wrong. But the thing is, you didn't do something wrong. When you're trying to get somewhere, you have to do that change and you have to face what you used to be in order to move forward. But so many people look at that energy, get stuck in that energy, and they're like, I nope. And then they go right back to the very beginning of the tarot, which is the Fool card, and they start all over again. That's why people get stuck in cycles, because they're not willing to do the work to get themselves out of that stuck space. So
when you talk to women and what is the thing that they say that makes you know that they're ready to work with you?
Usually they'll say something like, I'm right there. I can see where I'm trying to get to, but I can't figure out what I need to do to get there. There's a place that I want to be. There's a person that I want to be. There's something that I want to do. And I can see it. I can feel it. I can feel like they can literally sense it in their energy, but they can't figure out how to take that next step.
Gotcha.
And I kind of, help them to pinpoint exactly what that looks like, and then hold their hand as they're doing the things to get themselves there. Because as much as we would all like it to be, manifestation is not wish and pray and then it shows up. Like, you actually have to interact with the world.
Yes.
So that interaction with the world, that's where when you match that energy and that intention with the action, that's where the magic happens. And stuff will just start falling into your lap. And it's a beautiful thing when you know how to recognize where you are on that path and how to move through that energy without freaking out. Because we tend to freak out. Our egos love to freak out. It's more fun
to start saying, wait, no, this is wrong. Because transformation is not easy.
No, it is not.
But it is necessary.
It wouldn't be transformation if it was easy, though.
Yeah. I like that. I like what you said. Matching the energy and the intention, that's when the magic happens. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal. So if you were to look back, say 10, 15 years, would you think that you would be where you are now? Could you have seen that?
Nope, not at all. Not at all. I was a complete, like, last year I was a completely different person than I am now. And 10 years ago, ooh, I had a 2-year-old. I was still like really working on my wedding planning business, and I was convinced that that was the thing that was going to get me to where I needed to be. Um, yeah, no, I could not have imagined this. I could not have imagined this. Um, and I had to let go
Mm,
of what I had planned, because my brain is a spreadsheet, and so I love to put things in boxes. Like, that's like, organizing stuff is one of my favorite things to do. But when you're working with energy and dealing with the energy of your life, like, you really can't put the things in the boxes. You can put
no,
one
you
thing in the
can't.
box and then see what comes next. But if you try to put everything in boxes, you might look up, like me, 10 years later and be like, this is not where I actually wanted to be. But you
Hmm.
can't know that until you experience it.
Yes.
So I very much right now am just, I go with the flow. I work, it's like I wake up and I'm like, okay, so what am I feeling right now? What does my body need? What does my soul need? What does my mind need right now? Sometimes it's literally to stay in the bed another hour. Sometimes it's like you need to get up and move. And as I do that, like, I get the information that I need to take the actions on the various parts of my life that need to be moving at any given time. But of course, that is with the understanding that there are no mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't believe that any of the stuff that I've done in the past is a mistake. It was
No.
all necessary to get me to where I am.
Yeah, for the journey.
Yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of people get caught up in the idea
Yeah.
that they're doing something wrong, and it's like, but that's not the point. Like, that's not, there is no wrong. It's just a thing that happened. We don't need to put that judgment on it to make it be the thing that you did wrong. It's like, no, you did a thing, you didn't like it, you can change your mind, it's totally fine, you
I
know.
find that with a lot of women in divorce.
Mm,
They're like, "Oh, that was my mistake," and I say, "No, it wasn't a mistake. It was just something you did."
yep.
And then the other part is you actually loved that person at that time.
Yeah.
And one thing I know about love is it doesn't go away. It just changes. It
Yes.
shifts. It morphs.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't go away. I mean, because I hear women all the time, "Oh, I wasted 20 years with that man." And I was like, "Well, how long?" I was like, "I was with my husband for 20 years." I said, "But I don't call it a waste." I said, "Because it
Yeah.
wasn't all bad.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
there were times when, it was good. And I did get these beautiful children out of this relationship. I mean, but, no, it's not a waste. It was just
Right.
a thing that we did,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that I noticed even in this industry as well. People will love to talk about how they wasted time.
Mm,
Oh, I wasted so much time. I really was supposed to be that tarot goddess, but I wasted all this time, being an accountant or being a teacher or whatever, and I'm like, no, it's not a waste. Time is not a
right.
waste. You learned something in that. You did
Absolutely.
something for somebody. You made somebody's life better with whatever it is
Absolutely.
that you did.
Yes.
And yeah, I definitely for sure agree with that. So, one thing I was going to ask you, I really wanted to ask you. So, what do you consider the turning point? The point that you got to that said, I'm going to go all in. This is what I'm going to do. What was that point like for you?
That's interesting because that's actually very recent, my turning point. Um, and it was COVID. It was
Okay.
COVID. It was COVID. Like, I have, been a business owner for over a decade now. So I'm
Mhm.
not new to any of this, the accounting
The business
stuff,
part.
all of the marketing stuff. I'm not new to any of it. But what I am new at is literally being like, I am never working for another person ever again. Because I had jobs while I was a wedding planner
Mm-hmm.
because there, you know, it's a seasonal thing. So the income was up and down. So
Right.
I bounced in and out of corporate America, had to bounce back in. Um, Around the end of 2018, which is actually when I got my first DNA activation done. And I worked for this company from 2018 to 2020. And it was a company, standard, you know, corporate America, whatever. They promised me the world, talked about, you know, I got two raises in the year, not two raises, two promotions in the year and a half that I was there, um, which was awesome because I'm awesome. And when I work hard.
Right. Yeah.
But I gave like all of this time, all of this loyalty, all of this stuff to these people. And then COVID hits and they're like, we just don't need you anymore. Like they just literally eliminated my position. And I'm like, okay.
Now, what do I do next?
And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I am never, ever working for another person ever again. Nope, I'm done. I am done depending on anybody except myself. So I went all in with my dream. And I'm like, I'm not settling for crumbs anymore. I'm not playing halfway anymore. I'm not making it so that I don't win. Because anytime I go out, hello, Midnight. Anytime I go out and give my energy to somebody else when it's not an equal exchange, and when it's corporate America, it's almost never an equal exchange.
No, it's
Um,
not almost. It never.
well, I'm trying to be optimistic. There might be somebody out there. I don't know. But yeah, so it's like never an equal exchange. And so for me, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is not who I am. I was not able to be who I really am in corporate. Like, it was not working.
Well, you can't.
Because they don't want you to. They
No.
don't want you to. They want you to be a peg in the hole, and that's it. And I was like, So once I lost that job, I was set free. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be good. And it's worked out really well for me so far.
I was gonna say you are doing whatever the fuck you want,
Yes,
girl,
yes,
and you're doing it well.
yes. And I'm loving every minute of it. And
That is awesome.
that's the thing. Like I don't have to. Well, I
Force
mean, I guess
yourself to
I
do
could
work.
worry about like other people what they think, but I don't. I just really don't. I'm just like, you know, if I'm not for you, I'm not for you, and that's totally fine with me.
That's almost like um a freedom all in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many times, especially, you're in business, you're trying to appeal to everybody and all this stuff, but everybody's not for you. You're not for everybody.
Yes.
That is like that already is like I'm free.
Yep.
You took the
Yep.
chains off of me. But that is powerful. All right. So as much as I hate to let everybody know where to find you, first, wait. If you had something to say to
Mm-hmm.
somebody that was in your shoes, what would you
Mm.
say to them? And then share where people can connect with you.
Whew, that's a good one. Okay. I'm gonna think about it. Okay. Whatever that thing is that you really want, just do it. Find the support that you need. Find somebody who is willing to help you get through the hard times and go for it. Because there is no reason to let yourself live with regret.
Mm, that's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my biggest whys about why I live the way I do right now, is because I have told myself I am not dying with any regrets. Like, I'm not. There's why would I, when this world is so big and wide and wonderful?
Exactly. I believe that as well. It's like, no, I'm not going out like that.
Yeah,
That's my favorite thing. I'm like, I'm not going out like that.
yeah.
I'm not gonna do it. All right, so let the people know where to connect with you, how they can find you when they're looking for you. Yeah, your social media handles or whatever you want to share.
All right. So the main place that you guys can find me right now is my website, and it's jasminecianflone.com. Or if that's too difficult to spell, you can also find me at thattarotgoddess.com. Um, I am all over social media, like pretty much on every platform, and my handle is at jazz. Nope, I lied. Hold on, remember it. My handle. I say I just turned 40, so my brain stopped working.
Oh,
My
stop it.
handle is.
I don't even want to hear that you're still a youngster.
I still feel young. I'm so glad. Okay, so my social media handle is at XOJazzCianflone, and that's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. What else is there? TikTok, and not YouTube yet because I can't customize my channel. But if you search that Tarot Goddess on YouTube, I have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Am I anywhere else? Yes, I have a Patreon. That's where we're doing all of our wonderful group stuff to support each other in creating our customized spiritual practices. And that is patreon.com/XOJazzCianflone. Yeah, that's me everywhere.
All right, that is so powerful. And also, Jasmine's bio and her um, connections and all that stuff is going to be in the description of the video as well as the audio. So you'll be able to find that there as well if you didn't catch it or you missed it. You didn't want to go back and rewind and all that kind of good stuff. So we'll have all that stuff in there for you because you are going to want to connect with that tarot goddess because she truly is that tarot goddess. She gives messages that are so amazing. But she will pull your edges, so watch your edges. She will. She'll pluck them bitches right off.
It's all out of
So,
love. All out of love.
but if that's what you need, that's what you get. And so I'm super excited though that she's decided to join me here. It's been such an amazing talk. Oh my God. Yeah, there's so much I could say, but right now I'm going to suffice it to say thank you so much for joining us on Straight Outta Savannah, talking with Tammi. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. If you are on YouTube, if you're on Anchor, make sure that you share with other people that would like to hear about that tarot goddess. And thank you so much for joining me, Jasmine. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate you. And have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Great to talk to you.